Good morning and welcome to our program. Today we have a very special program planned. On June the 11th, Brother Wayne Smith passed away at the age of 90. He was a diligent Bible student, a faithful Christian, and a cherished member of the Pyburn Street Church of Christ. He also faithfully listened to this program every day and offered much encouragement to me. From time to time, Brother Smith would fill the pulpit at Pyburn Street and proclaim the gospel. And today, in his honor, I would like to share a lesson that he presented a few years ago entitled, Beware of False Teachers. I hope you enjoy this lesson.
One of the biggest problems we have in Christendom today are the false teachers. And if you just stop to think about it for a moment, when you look at the Bible and read the New Testament, see what's in there, and compare it to a lot of things that people are saying, you can only conclude that if these people today are telling the truth, then Jesus must have told a lot of lies, and the Spirit supposedly guiding the apostles made them tell a lot of lies. But the first words of the reading that David did gives us a warning as to what to look out for as we go along. Beware of false prophets. Beware of false prophets. So when anyone tells you anything, the first thing you have to remember is that they might be misleading you. Maybe they are doing it ignorantly, but maybe they are deliberately deceiving you. In my own particular remembrance, there are a couple of things that have happened that really brought this lesson home to me. One of them was a fellow by the name of Jim Jones, and I'm sure that most of you are old enough to remember Jim Jones and may not be aware of all of his shenanigans, but the ultimate thing came when he took his group and moved to Guyana to get away from some of the problems that he was encountering here in the United States. There were some 900 people. I've seen various counts, but it's generally agreed a little over 900 people that were involved. And he had them so convinced that he was right that when the ultimate time came and he had to do something or be shown to be the scoundrel that he was, he convinced the adults to poison their children, and then most of the adults drank poison themselves, and most of those 900 people died at the word of that one man. In my own particular experience, I had a woman call me one time. She was a member of a group that believed in faith healing. Fairly small number of people had a little congregation going. They believed in faith healing, and this woman called me. She was crying. I had had a couple of brief interchanges with her about religion. I thought maybe one of the children, bad sick or something, had happened to them. No, she was upset because one of her heroes was a faith healer by the name of Oral Roberts. and she had just confirmed news that she had heard that he was going to build a medical school out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And she was really upset because she just could not understand why a man who could put his hands on someone and heal their infirmities wouldn't need a medical school. And I pointed out to her the problem was she was treating a man like God who obviously was not. She couldn't find anything in the Bible about Oral Roberts or anyone else who made his claims except to say that they were false prophets. They were wolves in sheep's clothing going about deceiving people. Some are really deceived and believe that because they so firmly believe what they believe, that everything has to be all right. But notice a little farther down in the reading that David did. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father. And Jesus said that this same thing about telling the truth would apply to the apostles. He told them they would be encountered by governors and kings and tortured and killed and so forth. But he told them not to worry about what to say because they would be told what to say when the time came. So we know that if we want to learn anything about Jesus, about God, about our lives, what we need to do and avoid doing, the Bible is the place to go find out. Not something that some man has conjured up. By far the largest deception that has gone on in the world, other than within the area of Christendom, is what is known as Islam. There, some 600 plus years after the time of Christ, a man found some mysterious things, and some angel told him how to decipher them, and he founded a thing called Islam. Now, a lot of people are saying today, and I hear this time after time after time, that they worship a different God. Pick up the Quran and read it, and you'll see that this is not a different God. This is a total destructive teaching of God and of God's ways. The founder of Islam claimed to be a descendant of Abraham. He acknowledged that Jesus lived, but Jesus was not born of the Virgin Mary. Jesus was formed from the dust of the earth. He was a special prophet to God. And everything having to do with Christianity is because a lot of people latched onto him and distorted everything and told all kind of lies about him in order to perpetuate Christianity. In other words, he says that they're doing what he did to form Islam. But today, that false teaching is getting to be quite a problem for a whole lot of the world, including the United States. But Jesus said in Acts 29, I know that after my departure, burdensome wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock. Even from your own selves men will arise, speaking erroneous things to lead the disciples away after them. That sounds pretty clear cut. But a lot of people would have you believe that that's not so at all. Whatever you want to believe, as long as you honestly believe it, that's all right. Speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs. Some will insist that psalms refers to musical instruments. Nothing could be further from the truth. There is nothing in the Bible to indicate that, and you cannot find a dictionary in the world, an honest-to-goodness dictionary, that defines psalms as anything but a type of singing. They will tell you that Mark 16:16, where Jesus said, he who believes and is baptized shall be saved. That doesn't mean that you have to be baptized to be saved, because it goes on to say if you don't believe, you're condemned already. It doesn't say, and if you don't believe and are baptized, therefore, it doesn't mean anything about baptism having anything to do with salvation. But I've always contended that the clearest example that the Bible has of what we need to do to be saved is Paul telling his own story on the road to Damascus, a devout Jew going to Damascus to help destroy Christianity. And the bright light appeared to him on the road. He was blinded. Who are you? I'm Jesus that you're persecuting. He said, what must I do? Now, if there was ever a time for a person to be told, all you have to do is pray, ask forgiveness of your sins, and everything will be okay. Seems to me like that would have been it. But that wasn't what Jesus told Paul. He told him to go into Damascus, and a man would come to him and tell him what to do. And Ananias came. What did he tell Paul to do? We don't know all the conversation that took place between his getting there and his finally telling Paul, why are you waiting? Get up, be baptized, and wash away your sins. But to deny that, you have to first believe that Jesus and the apostles were all liars. So unless you're ready to say that Jesus was a liar and that all of the inspiration he gave to the apostles made them liars, then you have to disregard all of this false teaching that's going on. And this is what Jesus taught. Many are going to say to me, We've prophesied in your name. We've done many wonderful things. And what is Jesus going to say? Depart from me, you who work iniquity, I never knew you. But if you have never done what Jesus says to do to be saved, if you've never confessed him, asked for forgiveness of your sins, and never been baptized to wash away your sins, then you have an opportunity to do that this morning. Or if you have accepted him and you've gone astray and need help to get back on the right road, we'll be glad to help you with that. So if we can help you in any way, we ask you to come as we stand and sing.
I hope that you enjoyed this lesson today and are able to join us in services at Pyburn Street Church of Christ. We will meet for Bible study this morning at 9, followed by worship at 10, and again this evening at 6 o'clock. I hope you each have a blessed Lord's Day.